the events that take place in your life that sometimes just seem so innocuous and so irrelevant and not important and you can't figure it out. I'm telling you, we live in a universe that has no accidents in it, and that every single encounter that we have is orchestrated by a divine presence that is in you and in everyone else, that each and every one of us can look back at the events of our lives and the things that came along, the opportunities that were there, and begin to realize that there's something bigger moving the pieces around. These things that we call coincidences, even the word coincidence is an interesting word. In mathematics, the word coincidence comes from the word coincide. And it is said in geometry that two angles that fit together perfectly are two angles that coincide. That's how you... So now we've taken a term that means something that fits together perfectly and come up with a definition for it that means something that shows up accidentally. We've totally turned the whole thing around. And I guess as you start to look back at some of these events and some of these things and some of the people that showed up in my life, and what I've been doing for the last couple of months and will be doing for the next year or two is going through these various kinds of things. And one of the great lessons that that happened to me when I finally got into graduate school is that I had as a mentor and a teacher a man named Abraham Maslow. And many of you had to read Toward a Psychology of Being and remember his hierarchy of needs and so on. And the irony of so much of it as I look back on it, because Dr. Maslow had probably been the most influential person in my adult life, and influenced my writing and why you came here today to listen to me. He was hugely instrumental in that. He passed away on the very same day in the same hour that I was walking across the stage. He was in Menlo Park, California, and I was in Detroit at Cobo Hall. And it was almost as if he passed a baton and said, I've talked about something called self-actualization and higher consciousness and how it applies to the academic world. I want you to explain it to the cab drivers and the beauticians and the dentists and the students and the school teachers and everyone else, that this idea that there is something inside of us that is way beyond ordinary, that who we are is so profoundly divine, and what we are capable of, and even who we are in discovering our own identity and who we are. And he called it self-actualization. That when you reach this top of this pyramid, you become someone who has certain qualities, certain characteristics. The most important of these characteristics were, he said, self-actualizing people, number one, are independent of the good opinion of other people. These are people who don't go through life being concerned about how they're perceived or what other people think of them. They're willing to suffer the slings and arrows. They're willing to do that. Something that I can remember doing at the age of 15, just saying, I would rather take a course over than submit to a foolish requirement. It's just being independent of the good opinion of other people is a quality that most people are not able to accept in their life. They do what they're told, or they do what other people tell them to do, or they want to be like everybody else. They want to fit in. He also said that self-actualizing people are detached from outcome. That is, they don't do what they do because of what award or a reward is going to come their way. They do what they do because inside, in their heart, in here, there's something telling them, this is your dharma. This is your purpose. This is what you're here for. And you can't get to this place in your life where you're following somebody else's dharma. I call it, in a book I wrote for my kids years back called 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace, I call it, don't die with your music still in you. You know? These are people who were not going to get to the end of their life and know that they had some music to play, know that there was something that they came here to do, and not have done it. Don't die with your music still in you. It's like a theme for self-actualizing people.